everyone, and welcome to our webinar. Today we're venturing into the exciting intersection of artificial intelligence and digital asset management. It's a pleasure to have you join us on this journey. We'll begin by exploring how AI is reshaping digital asset management, from boosting efficiency to improving asset categorization. AI's role is significant. It's not just about automation. AI provides valuable insights for strategic decision making. Our focus will then shift to specific AI applications in this field, particularly facial recognition and AI tagging. These technologies are transforming how we manage and interact with digital assets. To illustrate these concepts, we'll demonstrate how Google Vision integrates with our product, Daminion server. This demonstration will show AI's practical impact on digital asset management, highlighting the ease and intelligence it brings to the process. Our aim today is to not only inform you about AI technologies, but to inspire you to consider the potential for organizations where at the forefront of new era in digital asset management, and AI is that catalyst. I encourage you to participate actively in this webinar. Ask questions and share your thoughts as we make this session interactive and insightful. Thank you for joining us. Let's begin our exploration of digital asset management in the age of artificial intelligence.
Hey, Kate, how are you doing today?
Hi, Dean. Long time no see you.
Long time indeed. Yeah. Well, Kate, the AI is the big buzz nowadays, and everybody's talking about AI this and Chat GTP that, and we were discussing this a week ago, and we were just saying, it's we actually have AI features built into Dominion. There's substantial integrations with artificial intelligence in terms of Google Vision tagging, even the facial recognition module that's built in. All of these are elements of artificial intelligence that help us in tagging and managing our digital assets. So I think it was only time, for us to start, showing not necessarily how they work, but how to work efficiently with them. And everybody's opened up the facial recognition module in Dominion and see, oh yeah, it picks up faces and everything. But there's a subtle way of working with it that I want to highlight. And I'm sure you, on your side, with the integration with Google Vision, also have a couple of tricks up your sleeve that you can show us.
Yeah, definitely. And, talking about this artificial intelligence, it is really becoming more accurate, talking about like tagging and in regards of AI objects and labels. In comparison with labels that we had before, I could see the difference how machine learning works. And it's really great.
It's amazing how the technology is just becoming more and more accurate as time goes by. I distinctly remember the first time I saw artificial tagging on images, and it was picking up the weirdest things. It was there was a house, and then it would label the door as a garage, and it was very strange, but it's become very, very accurate. So yeah. So I'll tell you what, I'm ready to go with our the facial recognition module. I'm going to drop you out of this screen while you get your catalog and everything sorted and ready to go. And then I'm just going to move around and play with this facial recognition module for a while and put it through its paces. I downloaded like almost 4,000 faces, so I'm ready to start.
That's going to be interesting.
Yeah, sure.
Yep.
Okay, cool. I'm going to drop you out, and when I'm done, I'll bring you back up. Right. So let's have a look at this catalog over here. So as you can see, in my catalog here, I downloaded a folder, and this is really just stock images that I've downloaded from Unsplash, and you can have a look at some of the examples on here. It's a whole mix of faces, all ethnicities, all genders, all angles. So first of all, you need to enable this module on your catalog. It's beyond the scope of what we want to do today to go into the server administration side of it. But just beware that once you've installed the module, you obviously need to activate it on your catalog on the back end. And once you've done that, you'll notice that there is a facial recognition module that you can open from here. So there's two different ways that you can access the facial recognition if you've got it enabled. So let's say, for example, I open up a digital asset over here. So you'll notice over here, when I click on this particular icon over here, I've got a couple of options. So you could either, when you're going through your facial recognition workflow, you can choose to identify a specific person by entering a name in the dialog box here or on the module. And then you could also on the module choose to ignore it or use this context menu on the side here. So when you choose ignore, then it's obviously going to go into the ignored group of faces, and you can choose to show either. And then also there is a third option if you want to start from scratch. Say, for example, you've got a group portrait of 10 people, and you completely lost the plot and made so many mistakes, and you don't know who is who in the zoo. Then what you can do is you can simply clear all the informations about the faces and process it again. And then that'll send it back into the queue so that the facial recognition module starts from scratch and recognizes the faces again. So that is the one way of accessing it. And then the second way of accessing it is by going into the facial recognition module. So again, over here, you need to bear in mind that now I'm looking at my entire catalog where I've already have a batch of faces tagged with people. So what I want to do is I want to narrow it down to only work with today's batch of 4,000 faces. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to select this folder, and then immediately you'll see that it already recognizes a specific person here, and it asks me, is this Lamar Johnson? So again, now I'm not sure. So what am I going to do? I am going to just drag this and perform the search for Lamar Johnson by simply clicking on the name there. And then I can have a look at the digital assets and I can see, okay, yes, that definitely is the same person. I can click yes, and then that'll be added onto that list. So if I now go and I refresh this, oops, sorry, let me just close this off briefly. So if I refresh this, then ultimately I'm going to see the fourth one that I've just tagged that goes into the batch there as well. So again, sorry, let me just jump back into the filter here just to make sure we're only working with today's. Now this one over here, I can definitely tell that is not Lamar Johnson because this person is definitely older than that one. So what I can do, if I want to look at the file, I can simply double click on it and that'll open up the large preview for me so I can work with that. And then I can close that and then I can say, no, this is definitely not Lamar Johnson. Let's give this a name and we're going to call that Peter Johnson. Working with this facial recognition module, I've had to come up with so many different names. My imagination is run out. I've gone from John Smith right through to Jack Smith, everything in any case. So you simply enter the name, you hit OK, and then that'll get tagged on. And the process is self-explanatory, so you can go through this whole list. So over here, let's see, Emma, was so I can see this particular person over here is not in there. So I can choose to either defer it for later, I can choose to ignore it, or I can choose to tag this person specifically. So very handy indeed. When I get to this option here for specify name, I can choose to select any one of the people that I've already tagged in my catalog. So let's say, for example, that is Jeanette or Jane. I can simply filter the list down, find the person. And then if I don't have that person in the list, I can simply add a new name. And we're going to call this Jeanette May. And we hit OK. And then that tags it and it removes it from that list. And then the rest, I can simply hit yes and go through the whole list. Now, what happens at the end of the list, you'll see here that we run into a load more option. So just be aware that when you reach the end of this list, it might not necessarily be the end of the queue. So you have to go through this very systematically. And even when you're done with the whole process of identifying everybody in your queue, what you need to do is you need to hit this refresh button, because that will query the recognition queue again to make sure that all of the faces have gone through this identifying dialogue. And again, just always look for the context menus. The context menus will give you the ability to defer. So say, for example, I'm not really sure if this is Melissa Connolly. I can defer this to later. I can choose to ignore this person, or I can choose simply to specify a name as I want to. So if I know that this is not Jack Watts, what I can do is I can change the name by specifying it in there and selecting one or creating a new one. So it's very straightforward. And then you'll notice that all of the facial recognition tags get written into your people group. So say, for example, here we have got Annette Jackson. So all of these images have been tagged with the same people tag. So you can go through them and basically open them up and look through them. You can use your jog wheel to scroll through it and flip through them. And again, on all of these you can choose to ignore it if it's a mistake. Very straightforward, very useful if you're working, for example, with a catalog of models, or you're working with a catalog of staff photographs that you need to, say, for example, you have a catalog of your in-house staff and you also have a catalog of social media posts. So you can go through your catalog of in-house staff and you can make sure that you identify everybody in there. And then you can ingest all of your social media posts and you'll be able to, for example, search for any images of Anne Watson or Baby West. And then what you can do is you can combine that with maybe your events tag. So if you have set up your events on here, you can combine that with this was the summer picnic, or this was the photo shoot on that day for that client. So you can have a lot of control about how you filter your digital assets down to get everything tagged, because ultimately your digital assets are only as valuable as the information that you have put into them. You could have the best catalog with the hottest digital assets that were done by Guy Ritchie and the best photographers. If they're not described, ultimately they're going to be useless to you. It would be like going to a library and looking for a book and you don't have access to a catalog in front to find out on what shelf it is. That is my take on the facial recognition module. The more I play with it, the more I enjoy using it, because it's such a useful tool and it can add so much value to your workflow if this is the type of digital asset that you end up working with. Right, let's bring Kate back on. You are muted.
Okay, well, actually, I have a question for you regarding facial recognition module, because I know like everyone wants to know, like, do we use any third-party services for facial recognition, or do we have our own artificial intelligence for doing so?
No, this is 100% developed in-house by our own developers. So it is proprietary algorithms that's written by Daminion to do this kind of processing. There is no uploading your sensitive files to some third-party service to get tagging information or anything like that. All of this is contained on the server. It's done in-house with no no external influence whatsoever. Yeah, very interesting.
Okay.
Let me see if we have any questions or comments. Not just yet, but won't you share your screen with us, and then I'm dying to hear about the AI integration. So let me switch you. Let me just get myself out of here. Get your monitor in there.
Yeah.
Great.
And right now I'm going to show you. Yeah, can you see it now?
Yes, I can see your monitor. That's great. We have a question here from Marek. He says, will this AI face recognition work even if Daminion is self-hosted? Yes, definitely, 100%. So this is, like I said earlier, it's completely self-contained. It gets installed on the server. There is an add-in package that you install on your server machine. And then that enables the facial recognition module in all the Daminion clients. So yes, to answer your question, completely self-hosted. Right. Back to you. So I'm going to drop out of the stream. Let me know when you are done. If there's any questions from the users, I'll put them up on the screen. You can address them. And then when you're done, we can just wave goodbye and take it from there. I look forward to it. This is such exciting technology. I really love, I don't know what it is about me. I love everything computer related. So if it's artificial intelligence, I say, yes, bring it on.
Yeah, especially when it's something that really makes our life easier and we don't need to do it manually. All right, talking about my catalog and my term of artificial intelligence tagging, I would like to start with narrowing down my catalog from 2,000 images that I have to just 36 to make sure that we can intelligent works. Right now, it is just, simple filtering based on my manual input because I tag all these files manually. But let us see what can do artificial intelligence for us. All these files are also tagged by Google Vision, and we will check all property panels that were updated by Google Vision as well. So if you take a look at AI labels right here received from Google, you can see that actually it describes the file really accurate with even small details such as helmet, grass, sport, player, hat, and uniform. We also have another part of artificial labels that call AI objects. AI object basically recognized object on the file, and I'm going to add it to the property panel right here by describing and by adding. Okay, let me save it and quickly check what section I'm going to edit. I'm going to edit description right here. By editing description, I just need to add AI objects. Here are them. and maybe move it in my list a little bit closer to AI labels. And now we'll see the difference. Okay, it seems they're not appeared. Talking about objects, it usually has like less numbers of tag in comparison to labels, only identifying key images on or key object on the image. We can do the same with another file just to make sure like what's the difference, especially when we need to recognize not the person only, when we have some backgrounds or anything additionally related to this background. I'm going to also check property panel here. And as a result, we will get like all AI labels describing the file itself. I believe it's really accurate, and using any of this information, we can quickly find the file without, put in all this metadata and describe the file manually. You can see that actually our file name doesn't give us any idea about what it is, but taking a look at AI labels, it is straightly about what is on the file and what might be used, what is this file might be used for. That is basically it, talking about AI feature integration with Google Vision, but we also have another one. I call it kind of magic, but actually Dean would say that it is just a type of mathematics. It is a dominant color recognition, and we can use dominant color in addition to any other filters on the left-hand side. Let me simply use a media file format and select, okay, all, let it be vector images only, like Adobe Illustrator and InDesign. In addition to that, I want to apply a dominant color recognition as additional tag right here. And you can see that Daminion can identify dominant color as light blue automatically. So it was done during the import, and I can also use this information as a part of search to make sure that I'm looking for the right files. So that allows me basically use more files from my collection rather than if I rely on folders and have only, a few folders searchable for my purpose. Then you can do whatever you want with these files. Edit them in Adobe Creative Suite application, create a shared collection and share the files with someone else, or download as another export preset, let's say for social media or for website. I believe that's it that I can say about dominant color recognition. So let me take a look if you have any questions about that.
I really like that, this is an integration with Google, because they really have industry standard AI running on their servers. So let's just briefly talk about the process that happens when you do the AI tagging with Google Vision, which is a third-party service. How many we include some tagging for how many files is it again, Kate?
100,000 files.
So 100,000.
I believe it's more than enough to get started with this feature.
Yeah, for sure. And then, obviously, when that runs out, the onus is on you to subscribe to the Google Vision service if you find it useful. But the process basically on the back end is that Daminion takes the digital asset and then transforms it into a small thumbnail size image that it then uploads to Google Vision. And then Google Vision categorizes the image, it terminates the thumbnail, and it responds with a list of probable tags and objects that it detects within the digital asset. and then that is applied to the catalog within Daminion. And to add to this, I only recently discovered that when I sent a video file through to Google Vision, it also returned some keywords. And I was just wondering whether it's only on the title frame or whether it watches the whole video.
Like right now it is just for the title frame, but we were discovering the ability to add it for the whole video. But actually Google charge like a lot, especially if you have long videos. So it's going to be charged per minute. Yeah. And tagging video might be really cost you a fortune.
Yeah. Yeah, there's a catch-22. You always have to look at the cost-benefit analysis when it comes to these services, because ultimately, sometimes it's going to be more cost-efficient if you've got a small number of files to hire an intern and to put the intern behind the desk and say, hey, watch this and tag this. So yeah. Well, it's interesting. I'm very excited about anything AI. Whenever there's a new AI service, I always have to check it out and see what it does. So, we've pretty much, shot our bolt, so to say, on this particular stream, and we don't want to keep you guys too long. So we're going to conclude it here. And just in the same sense, we want to invite you to try Daminion. If you are not a Daminion user yet, please go to our website, reach out to the support guys. They will set you up with a free trial. You can try it out on your own hardware. We can install it in one of our cloud servers and just give you a link so you can play around with it and test it. And see if it will add value to your organization, because at the end of the day, digital assets are real assets to your business. And if you can't use your digital assets, it's the same as having a warehouse full of stock that you're not selling. It's just an asset that's sitting on your shelves in your in your digital shelves in your office network, and it's not working for you because nobody knows how to get to it to use it. So let's get our digital assets tagged. Let's get some information on those catalogs, and they can become valuable resources for us to use to aid in our marketing and other workflows that we have. Any closing words?
And we also, one moment, Dean. Before we are going to close this webinar, we also have an offer, special offer for everyone who's watching this webinar. If you're going to give it a try and decide to purchase Daminion until Christmas this year, you will get a special offer with 10% off. Even if you are going to, purchase it first time, or even if you want to upgrade your current version of the system. So we will be happy to talk with you and assist you with a trial if it's needed. So feel free to reach us out and ask your questions, and please give us a feedback, because it's really valuable. It's what we are using for developing and upgrading the versions that we have right now.
Right. Amazing. Kate, thank you for being so generous with your time tonight. And I'm sure we'll catch one another again out there sometime. Take care, guys. Bye-bye.
Thank you.